And the Metropolitan Archbishop of Accra, Charles Palmer Buckle, has been defending President Akufo-Addo's recent controversial response in an Al Jazeera interview that critics say opened the door for legalization of homosexuality in Ghana. Well, Palmer Buckle says the president gave the right responses. The president was criticized when he stated that homosexuality is still illegal in Ghana because there has not been enough advocacy for it to be legalized, and that it is something that could happen in time. Speaking to JoyNews, Most Reverend Palmer Buckle said President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo only emphasized Ghana's cultural reality as it relates to homosexuality.
The president gave the correct answer. The president is not God. He cannot say that Ghana will never accept it. What he said is that culturally, it is not an issue that Ghanaians will accept. Culturally, he said. As for the legal aspect of it, and that is where I believe Atta Mills was emphatic about the culture. And I think President Akufo-Addo was equally emphatic about the culture. As to the Constitution, you see, in our Constitution, as the lady asked, it is still considered a crime. If I don't know my law very well, but it is still considered a crime. Now, what we as in the Catholic Church, we believe is that the homosexual is a child of God. Just like, sorry to say, the murderer is a child of God, and the heterosexual is a child of God, and somebody who does not believe in the same thing I believe in, even who does not believe in God, is a child of God, and therefore his or her rights will have to be defended. So what I thought my president was trying to make clear is that for the Ghanaians and our culture, it is something that is unthinkable. We need to help our Ghanaians come to realize that a person who is homosexual is a child of God. And therefore, as Jesus would say, let him who is without sin cast the first stone at the person. Condemn the person. So we condemn the sin, but we don't condemn the person. You see, when Jesus rescued the woman caught in adultery, he asked her, woman, has no one condemned you? She said no. Jesus said, neither do I condemn you. However, go and sin no more. So it means Jesus considered what the woman was doing as sinful. But Jesus saw in the woman a child of God that must be rescued, must be saved from people who are ready to lynch her. Nobody has a right to lynch a homosexual just because the guy is a homosexual. But definitely we have a right to defend our culture, that homosexuality is contrary to our cultural norms and is contrary to our human rights as a nation. So I don't think people listen very carefully to the president before they jump to conclusion. He is a lawyer and a very versatile lawyer. He cannot say 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, it will not happen. He said when he was in Britain as a student, homosexuality was condemned outright. Today, the same Britain where it was considered horrible seems to have come to accept it because of some few vocal persons up to date. In Ghana, what is our issue? We must be ready to defend our cultural norm. Unfortunately, there's a lot of corruption in the system, ordinarily, and I think that is something we all have to tackle. You know, corruption in Ghana is not only political, it is Ghanaian. We have almost come to the point of accepting corruption as a culture. It is not a culture. It is wrong. We must try to eschew corruption, and we must learn transparency and accountability on individual basis and everything. Another thing that I think has caught my attention is the awareness now that through Galamsey we are destroying our heritage, and that we must all do something to stop this Galamsey. And it is very important that we become conscious of the fact that we are only custodians of what God has given us, which we must be ready to hand on to the children who will come after us. So we are not owners. We are only to hold it in trust for those who are coming. So the fight against Galamsey, I think, is already something very positive. Another thing that I would like to see is we have to do something about indiscipline and lawlessness and the so-called land guards, the so-called various political vigilantism and the rest. It is all part of the indiscipline that is in the country. And therefore, to eradicate it, we would have to do a lot of work. First and foremost, all those who are getting involved or have been involved in corrupt practices, if found out, they must be brought before the law, and the law must have its course. You see the point? Yeah. So until the law has come out to say this particular person acted in a corrupt manner or did something that was corruption, opinions and perspectives, unfortunately, are too many. So I would say, let us respect the rule of law. Let the law judge and give us to know this one is corrupt, that one is corrupt, that one is corrupt, that one.